Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, cool. So, okay, slides are there. Welcome all. I'm Lefteris. I'll be talking to you about the dark side of transparency in crypto with, Emperor Palpatine here. First of all, a little bit about me. I'm Lefteris. I've been Ethereum since 2014. I've created and helped clean up the DAO with Christoph, Jens, and the rest of the Slockit team. I've been in with Raiden almost 4 years, I think 3.5, and that was something like the Lightning Network is to Bitcoin, but didn't work out due to the L2s now becoming the rollups. And I'm the founder of Rodkey, which is a portfolio tracker and accounting tool that protects and respects your privacy. So, transparency in crypto. So, Kelso, maybe you can come from here. So, we have transparency. Like, we know that this is one of the most important attributes that crypto gives us, because everything is open, right? Everything is persistent. They will not be deleted, the data. Everyone can audit it. So if it's about public spending, it's perfect, it's beautiful. You can see where do your taxes go, how are they spent. It's a really beautiful attribute of crypto. The problem then becomes, and I like memes, so there is a lot of memes in this presentation. I'm sorry in advance. So everything is open, right? But can you selectively share? And do you know how much of this you can share with a certain group of people? Let's say your accountant, something else with the authorities, something just completely private for your family. So unfortunately, that is not possible. With crypto, everything is so transparent that anybody can look you up, and even people that can wish you harm. This whole thing with the right to data deletion doesn't exist in crypto. It's there. Once it's done, it's persistent. It's never going to go away. Others will connect the dots because everything is auditable. If something, some metadata you have leaked somehow through a combination of tweets, on-chain activity, people will find it and and they will use it against you. So this all sounds like a lot of fear mongering. Why crypto is great? Why don't you give some more specific examples? Let's look at ENS as an example. You go to the ENS app, you register a name. I don't know who this guy is. Sorry in advance to the guy that using his name. It's Derek Silva. He has first and last name. So this was the first guy with first and last name that I found that did something that some people may call questionable. I don't mind it at all. But let's say that, wow, what the heck? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now, yeah, we have to. This is a feature preview. This is like our entire. Yeah. Sorry for that. All the memes that I wanted to show you. I'm sorry, but we'll get to it. Okay. So please don't move again. Yes, so let's assume that we are in a world where some people don't like Spunk Chain because whatever. Like, this is just an example. You are using it, and then you're using it with your ENS. And the problem then becomes that you have connected all of your personal details with it, like your personal website, Twitter, Telegram, everything. So someone who wants to look you up and like punish you for doing something, like for example for using Tornado or whatever, if you use it with your ENS name and you have such metadata, then all of that is leaked. This may sound like, of course I wouldn't do it, come on, what, I'm an idiot. The way that we try to make things very simple for the newcomers, unfortunately they don't understand that this is public. they really many times think, I have seen newcomers, I have even talked to my wife about making some of these things for her, and the first assumption is that this is not public. They do not understand it. It's not something that you would think of by default. Another mistake that many OGs also make is depositing to a centralized exchange in order to sell something. Let's say that your public address is this 0x75, and you go to Binance, you type, I want to deposit USDT. It gives you an address to deposit, this 0xa Coco. Cool, you deposit, you sell. Then you have a private address that you have some private stuff that you don't want to be known that it is you. You go to Binance, you deposit again. And unfortunately, then you're caught in 4K because just by going to the Binance deposit address, you can see that you deposit to the 0xa Coco from both your public and your private, and you suddenly dox your private address. There is bots that actually run through deposit addresses of various exchanges and try to find who has done this mistake with known people, so with known public DNSs to try and find other associated addresses with them. This is not just like an imaginary scenario. My favorite is signing with Ethereum. So we have a lot of dApps, which in reality have a big server-side component that asking you to sign in with Ethereum. Sounds like a good idea, but when you do that, there is a lot of consequences that people do not understand, which is that you leak IP location and other metadata and associate it with something even more important than your IBAN, let's say, because the Ethereum address is, it contains the history of everything that you did with that address and everything that you will ever do in the future. I wanted something about to say about the deal of consequences here, but they were not very safe for this presentation, safe for work using any such meme. So, are we screwed? What can we do? How can we get out of the situation? Because it's not as if transparency and crypto are bad inherently. We just need to use them correctly. So we just need to fight together, both for the new users and the OGs to understand and create apps that protect users' privacy and also promote education so that people understand what it is that they are doing. For example, when you're using on-off ramps for crypto, you should only use exchanges that offer you multiple deposit addresses. Never ever use an exchange that does not allow such a thing. You should have different deposit address for every account that you have in crypto. Be very careful how you associate them. Use any labeling or address book that your wallet may contain. And do not use, say, decentralized exchanges because they may leak your data in various ways that you don't expect. Binance, I don't know, just had something here before. So, I want to borrow a concept from Japanese, which is the honne and tatemae, which is really well applies here. It's the idea of the private self that you have and that you have only for your personal feelings, for your inner self, and for your close family, and then the tatemae, which is what you show to the outside world. So take this concept and apply it to crypto like a religion. Keep separate public and private addresses, identities. They do not need to be only one. There can be multiple. There can be various layers. So I have my private, my semi-private, my super-private, the one that only has ever had funds from mining Ethereum back in 2014, and so on and so forth. Never connect them. Just okay, now you never connect them. You have a public and the private address. The public can be, the happy face. I'm a great guy. Everybody should love me. In the private, you do whatever you want there. Use VPN to reinforce the separation. Basically, have good privacy-aware habits. Minimize the use of dApps. So I'm putting dApps in quotes here because, unfortunately, most of what we call dApps right now, they are just centralized server apps that have some small on-chain components, thanks to which they like to call themselves dApps. So what they do is they have a centralized server architecture, they have a database, all of the data is stored there remotely. You don't do anything locally. There is nothing. The only thing that you do locally is just curl API calls. You just do API calls to their server. There is no privacy, and the data is not anywhere in your computer. It's like they advertise, it's great, it's a very beautiful application, but it's our data, right? The data is always on their server. It can leak. The intern may just press a button wrong and then they fire him, but then everything is over for your data, and you're at the mercy of data leaks and hacks. Everybody that I have accused for this, they always tell me, but you have a privacy policy. It says right there, we respect your privacy. It's great, like having a privacy policy and saying that you respect it, it's all talk though, because it's not about, it's what Google was saying, don't be evil. You should not be able to even be evil. Because, again, the poor intern, I'm going to use him again, he may make a mistake because he may have not read their privacy policy and he may just somehow use, they may have a master decryption key and make a mistake, and all of your data is out and about for hackers to play with. An idea that I really like and talk about very, very often is local first software. This is a paper that came out in 2019 that tries to talk about how software should be in an interconnected world right now, and it should always be local first. Go read the paper. It's made by many authors, but mainly by this guy. His name is Martin Kleppmann. He's an amazing software engineer. He also has books about distributed technology. All of his books that I have read are really good, so I really recommend you look him up. The ideas of local first software is that the majority of the functionality is local. The data should be stored mostly locally, and it's applications that are made to have privacy and security as paramount. And the network here is, of course, we live in an interconnected world. There is always the network, but the network is used, but it should not be necessary. So not every keystroke should be a roundabout trip to a server like, I don't know, with Google Docs. So with that said, right, I'm going to head out, and I'm leaving it to my colleague Kelsos, who is going to be talking about one such app.
And I think the name's end now. So I'm Kelsos. I have been working and doing software development in Ethereum since 2017. I worked in the Braden frontend and then in the Braden Lite client. And I have been doing frontend in Rotkey since 2018, and now I'm the frontend lead. So what is Rotkey? Like Lefteris said, we are doing a local first app. So Rotkey is a portfolio tracker and management tool where everything is stored on your machine. We don't have your data, we don't have your accounts. Everything is stored on your computer, so we don't have access to anything. So when you open Rotkey for the first time, you can see an overview, like not the first time, but after you add your accounts, you can see an overview of everything you have, like centralized exchanges, balances in blockchains, and then you can see a historic view, maybe have some graph of your holding each time every day. So in the dashboard, you can see a breakdown of your assets, an aggregation of everything you own all across the tracked accounts. You can see the price of each asset at the current time. So if you use Euro, USD, we support different currencies. And then one of our most important features is the history section. So this originally started as a transaction history, which was really unfriendly, and we have been slowly evolving it to a complete history of your EVM transactions, and the plan is to make it a total history of everything. Like if you have linked centralized exchanges, all your activity, like trades, swaps, deposits, deposits and withdrawals from DeFi protocols, everything should appear there. The idea is that this section is completely filterable, so you can see your movements, your actions through a specific period. You can see only specific protocols. And the idea is that we want at some point to start integrating it with our profit loss report. So we have a historical P&L report, and you can see cost basis, and you can apply FIFO, LIFO, different algorithms to see where the funds come from, and where everything in its sale or movement came from. You can also export this to a CSV file. For example, if you want to share it with your accountant. But the idea that we want to do is that since you have a nice history view, you should be able to also do on-the-spot calculations. Say, for example, you want to see the total fees that you paid, I don't know, depositing on a specific protocol for a specific period, and we want to add actions so that you will be able to do that. Then we have some per protocol views. So, for example, if you are using Liquidity, you can see how much you have staked in the different pools. You can see if you have any gains or losses, and you can get more information on that. Then we also support Ethereum staking. You can track all your validators. You can see your daily averages. You can see the gains and everything, the amounts you have already withdrawn, and you can filter by account, by validator, and period of time, and you can see many details. So Lefteris was talking about identities before, and in Rotkey we have the ability that you can tag and customize accounts. So for example, you can do a private and a public tag, and then you can have the accounts and filter by only the public or only the private accounts. And you can see there in the account management screen which accounts are private, which are public, and then you can split your identities and be sure that you don't do actions between them. Then we have an address book feature where you can assign friendly names, because we know that remembering which address is which is really hard. So this is easier because then when you see your history, you can see, for example, that maybe you have your Binance deposit address or a deposit address you use on something. You can name it, and then in your history you will see all the details, and you will see the friendly name of the address. And then you actually can control. So Rotkey gets information for your own Ethereum node, for open nodes outside. And you can customize these nodes, you can add new, you can remove some of the predefined, and you can add a probability on the chance that this node will be hit to fetch information. And then for prices, we use external oracles, and then again, based on what you trust, you can customize, and you can also add missing prices for oracles that we don't support, or for tokens that we don't have enough information. Like I said, you own your data. So everything is local. There are backups, and you can always revert. And in the worst case, anything that happens to us, you can still have access to the data. Whereas in some software as a service platforms, basically, if the platform goes, you lose everything. So yeah, to close it, we are looking for more people. We are also looking for open source contributors. And we would like you to give Rotkey a try, like spread the word about the software, and also give us feedback, because we are building the software for us, but also for people out there that have these needs. So we are interested to hearing and building for the users. So thank you very much. I don't know, do we have time for questions?
How are you monetized?
That's a very, very good question. So we want to thank everybody that has been donating through the Gitcoin rounds since 2017, I think we've been doing that. So it's mostly donations. We have a premium service that we also offer, like it unlocks features and limits, but this is unfortunately not the bulk of our revenue. And then grants. So various protocols have given us grants over the years for integrations. So all that together, they create the funding for a small team. Hey, Alex.
Did you get $72,000 from the protocol guild?
No. Well, I mean, I would like to, but I don't think that we are qualified. We are not a protocol. We are an application. Nice to see you, Alex, by the way. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Yeah. Yeah.
Just wondering if is there a plan to make a mobile app at any point in the future?
Yeah, so mobile app is really hard because we will have to rewrite everything. But there are ways because we have a Docker container, like a Docker image, sorry, and the app is also available in Dapnode. So we have users that use the app through Dapnode, and most of the UI is mobile friendly. So, for example, if you have Dapnode, you have a VPN where you can access your Dapnode, and then you can go to Rotkey through this and see and manage everything from mobile. So that's the closest we have right now.
We would like to go at some point, but yeah, like talking about funding, right? That would require a dedicated, different team, like different directions. It's hard.
So from the dApps builders perspective, like what can we as builders do to protect users' privacy more? Like what features do you think are needed from the dApps sides to protect users?
Is it dApp developer or is it the dApp user?
No, I mean from the builders of the dApps, as builders, what can we do to help users protect their privacy?
So, very good question. I don't think we have a link to this, but if you search for local first software, like try to follow everything that paper says, basically. The idea is to, it doesn't mean it's an offline app. There is no such thing anymore. That would make no sense. But try to utilize the computer of the user and give him as much agency over his data as possible. Any more questions?
You here.
Oh, sorry.
You said you support EVM chains, but which one do you support already?
We support Optimism, Mainnet, and in a week, Polygon, and maybe in 1 month, Arbitrum.
Hey, so you mentioned you can tag your public-private accounts. Does Rotkey give you like alerts if you make a mistake and accidentally expose yourself? Like, is there a way for you guys to run the same bots, etc., that the hackers do to alert us if we've actually accidentally exposed our
It would be easy.
private?
We don't do that, but by then it's too late. So once that's done, you're done. Like you're doxxed. We could write a script that does exactly the same, but it's.
Maybe it would make sense in the sense that you know that you have to stop using this account because it's already doxed.
Yeah. If you have a GitHub account, please make an issue.
Thanks for the talk. I just thought regarding the first part of the talk about people linking their Twitter accounts with their ETH domain names and so on, I thought it could be even an attack surface, so someone can register an ETH name with my real name and do some shady activity, and then someone can blame me, and would it be up to me to prove that that actually was not me and someone in a poster and so on? This also looks like an attack vector.
Yeah, that could be something, but I guess it would be easy to. Yeah, interesting. I just started to think, oh yeah, how can you prove that it's not
prove that
you don't own the key? Yeah, that's an interesting attack vector too. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.